There we go. I tried this for the second time. Now the first time it had music in it. I don't know why. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Main Reflex here, whatever you want to call me. I don't care. Call me PJ, P-Jam, Peanut Butter and Jelly. Who cares, right? So we just got a little quick video. I just want to talk about a few things that you would expect when going into console role-playing servers. And let's see. I've been doing it for about maybe 2-3 years, so I would say I have a good shuffle, or whatever word you want to say, about different roleplay servers. I've been in a few, and I've had some few experiences in all different sides, civilian, LEO, medic, things like that. Now, I'm not going to say that I'm like the best experienced roleplayer out there, because that's obviously not true. I'm still learning some ropes, and I still got some work to do in some areas, but that's for me to improve on. But this video is to help you guys out when you're getting right into role-playing. So let's just get right into it here. So first thing, my experiences have all been on PlayStation 4. It is different for Xbox, and I will have someone talking to you guys about that later on the video or in a soon video. However, my recommendation for communities and going into console and the Xbox, if you see a console roleplay community that has both, I would recommend staying away from that unless you know it's a popular for both and it's more open. You're more likely to get a better RP experience and more players out of a server that's strictly either one console or the other. So, for instance, the community that I'm in right now for Xbox or for PlayStation 4, I'm not going to say the name. They have an Xbox server, but I'm pretty sure they are not active at all. However, if I were to sign up for an Xbox server that's just strictly Xbox, it would be fine, active and dandy. Now, for the Xbox or the PlayStation 4 users out there, there is many communities in the PlayStation 4 that I know of. A lot of them have all been a part of a main roleplay community and they have bunched off. So I would recommend not going to one that has a lower quantity of people in it. Mainly because your activity levels, how well you'll be treated, and the professionalism. So if you go in a community that has less than 20 people in it, that's not going to be enjoyable at all. Or even less than 50, because not all 50 of those players are going to come in at once. Let's see, I will look up the server stats for the roleplay community I'm in right now. Let's just look real quick. Let's see how many members there are. There is a whole bunch. You gotta find appropriate channels. So make sure you know where you're supposed to go, because a lot of communities use Discord and a laptop. Let's talk about that real quick. I know this is a little side topic, but if you're wanting to get into console role playing, a lot of communities will use the app Discord, which you can get on your phone or any mobile device. It's simple to use on both. But what Discord will use, you'll use it for mainly your radio, your communication with other people in the community, and want to know when your RP sessions are, because console roleplay sessions are not 24/7, they are scheduled every day, because it's hard to have an open server without other people randomly joining up. So, excuse me. It helps with that. You also have your economy in there, so some roleplay servers you'll get paid for doing your job. So like civs can own businesses, cops will get paid a certain paycheck depending on their rank, same with fire and EMS, things like that. So it just helps the experience more. You also have your in-game chat, so things you won't be able to see in the actual GTA 5, you'll be able to see in the Discord. So you want to be sure you have a way to shuffle and seeing both. I recommend using a laptop for Discord, because it also helps with using your CAD. Hopefully all servers by now use a CAD system. A CAD system will help you run plates, run people, write their citations, write them tickets, show that you're 10.8 in CAD, shows that you're active supervisor, you're active this, or whatever subdivision you're a part of. This also helps dispatchers who use the CAD know who's all active. So if you are not signed into a CAD, or you do not have a proper way to use a CAD, I would not recommend giving into console role playing. in the extreme level. If you're just starting off, understandable. If you're like saving up for like, you don't even need like this big gaming PC. If you just have like a junky laptop, that'll work perfectly fine. You only will need 2 windows open on it at the least, depending if you have other things opened. But those are some things that you'll need. You also obviously need your console. You'll need a headset. Obviously, you want to communicate, and if you just use an open mic, it's pretty bad. You get pretty echoey. You'll just annoy your other role players that are in there with you. So, like I said, make sure you're in an active community, and you can do that. All you have to do is type in on Google, Safari, whatever you're using. Just type in PlayStation 4 or Xbox or PC roleplay servers for GTA 5. Now what that will do is it'll pop up like the top ones. Another way to look is I like to do some research before I just up and join it. So I want to be like, hey, meet someone on the server, be like, hey, how good's your server? Of course they're going to tell you everything that's good, but always expect there to be a little bit of something that's wrong or different. What I mean by that is don't expect to come to the server and think that it's going to be the most enjoyable experience and you're going to love it every single day. There's going to be stressful times, and the more time you're in the server, the more you're either going to get outgrown from it or the more you're going to think it's a pain in the ass. I will bleep that word out. Anyways, what I'm saying there is basically if you spend every single day for about maybe a week or a month doing the roleplay, you're going to get bored after a while. So you need to find a way to like span it out. So do it like 3 or 4 times a week. I would say 3. I do it maybe 3 times, at least I try to, with a busy schedule as also. Another thing you want to look out for is when their schedule is. So different communities have different times for their schedule. It's all based on host. The certified host is someone who is allowed by the community staff team to start up a session. So they can start up a session anytime as long as they give you enough time in advance to get ready. Now, with that being said, getting ready, you want to make sure you have a proper amount of money because they'll give you a uniform. So you want to make sure you have the right things to wear on your uniform. And you also want to know which car you're supposed to be in. Don't feel afraid to ask, even if people get mad or upset with you and tell you to look here. Just be like, hey, sorry, I'm new. Here you go. So, right now you see I'm rocking the Crown Vic. That would be a deputy one for this community that I'm in. It may be different. Who knows? Mostly it'd be this for the county. Make sure you also know your district, where you're supposed to be. The county is supposed to be up in the county most of the time. You know, your city is obviously in the city. And then your highway is on the highway. Now, depending on the AOP, which stands for Area of Roleplay, it may be different depending on the amount of players. So, in this video you're seeing right here, the AOP was county, so everyone was up in the county, so you'll see the city guys up there as well. But that's beyond the point. Just make sure you know where you're doing, where you're going and what you're doing. It doesn't matter what department you join, you're going to have the same experience. You also don't have to join a department. A lot of people just roll Civ. But if you're going to roll Civ, please don't just go with there and get a cop chase. Make it realistic. Like, be like, oh, dang, I fell off my bike. I'm going to have to call 911. Something like that. You know, or be like, oh, dang, I hammered my hand in with a nail doing construction. You know, don't just be like, I'm going to speed off, get pulled over, and then run away from the cops and get away 3 times a day. No, they're not. That you're just going to get in big trouble for that one for sure. Like I was talking about earlier, I know this is very unorganized. Console communities can be a tad bit on the edge of, I don't know, they could be a little bit mean. I don't know, that's not the proper word. You may ask a question and they may snap back at you. Don't take it anything personally. Mainly because probably the person you have been asked that question 1,000 times, or they're so high up they think they don't have to answer it and they'll have someone else answer it. Just go around until you can find the answer. Oh no, the dog's barking. We'll be right back. I think he stopped actually. Okay, he stopped I guess. We're just going to add that in the video. But Like I said, some roleplay communities, you may have people who are rude. Don't take it personally at all. It's perfectly fine. But if you do take it personal, it'll make your experience worse, and you'll have people who hold grudges against you now from that. So, that's another way to improve your experience right there. Um, Also, some communities that are like very popular, their servers are gonna, go up. They're gonna have a full server in a quick amount of time. That's mainly because they're a big server and you can only have 30 people in a console server. So they make sure they try to even it out so they have a whole bunch of both. Um, I'd recommend, depending on the policy per program, you have a reserve department, which should be, for example, me as a cop right now, my reserve is Civ, so I can have some fun in Civ a little bit. A lot of people go dispatch, so that way if the server fills up, and they don't have to worry about waiting in a queue, they can just hop on dispatch and they do dispatch. So they're still part of the roleplay. Um, let's see here. There's a lot of things to talk about. I could go on. I could rant and give you my personal opinions. We'll say that closer to the end of the video. So, when doing console role plays, some will have like a training server. My experience with training servers never works out. I don't know if that's just the communities I am don't like training, or the training officers don't want to do anything. But if a server has a training server they send you to, if you don't get a training, if you don't see someone post a training time, no matter if it's good with yours or not, like just a training time in general, in like 1 to 2 weeks of you being in that server, I would recommend leaving and finding another server, mainly because that means you're going to be stuck there for probably a little bit more while, and your likely chances of getting in, and by the time you get in, are going to be a long time. So, that's one way of helping that part out. Interview servers. So, pretty sure 99.9% of any server, any RP server, has an interview server, like getting a job application. They're going to ask you some questions. Make sure you answer them honestly, and you know the answers. Some questions may be tricky, like some people will be like, what experiences can you bring to the roleplay server? And then you're like, oh shoot, I wasn't expecting you to ask me that one. So, just be prepared for that thing. If you see someone else who's an interviewer, be like, hey, what are some of the questions so I can have them prepared? If they don't answer, it's fine, don't sweat. They'll understand. Majority of the time, all interviewers should understand, like, oh shoot, I should give him a minute to answer this question because he didn't expect it. Now, a lot of people do have applications. I don't know if that's still going on most servers. I don't know. Don't do interviews. I've stayed away from the staff team as long as possible, and I'm still trying to stay away from the staff team. But a lot of servers may have applications, some don't. You'll just have to fill it out. It'll be like, hey, what's your Discord information, what console you play on, what experiences, your age, yada yada yada. Just don't lie about it because they're always going to ask the same questions most of the time. Just to get a second, make sure you're telling the truth and you didn't forget your application. My personal opinion on console servers is I don't like them, period. Like, I enjoy role-playing. I enjoy being able to have a platform I can role-play on. But it's a good way to help you get ready for PC. That's about it. The PC brings a whole lot more. Like, you have mods, you'll have realistic cars, you'll have different commands you'll have to do. You're actually allowed to handcuff them and things like that. So console role-playing really helps you get there. Now, if you want to strictly stay console, I'd recommend, working your way to rank up. But if you're just wanting to learn the ropes and get used to console role-playing to get ready for a PC, I'd recommend staying your rank and don't try to rank up. And if you do rank up, I wouldn't recommend going anywhere in the staff mod, like any teams that involve the server directly. Like, you can go COC, which is chain of command for your department. I wouldn't recommend, depending on how ranks work and how quickly you rank up in your department and your server, I wouldn't recommend going over maybe a sergeant or a master sergeant. And I just got hit in this video. I'm watching the video as I'm recording it as well. But that'd be some of my tips. If you want to see a part 2, or you want to see my opinion, or you want to see other people's opinions who were past in console role plays and now in PC, or people who are still in console role plays, and what their opinions are, and you want to see an interview from someone who owns a console roleplay server and things like that, let me know in the comment section down below what you want to see. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Share the video as well. I'm not going to force you to, but I would really appreciate it. Yeah, this would be the first tips and tricks. If you want to see some more about console or streaming or things of that nature via for roleplay, let me know. Like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope this will help you guys out. So thanks for watching. And did I just steal this bike? I think I'm parking it. Okay, I'll see you guys. Bye.